Wu delivered her State of the City address last night, touting city safety and taking a shot at the White House over its illegal immigration crackdown.
This is our city. No one tells Boston how to take care of our own. Not kings and not presidents who think they are kings. Boston was born facing down bullies.
Yeah, we got to make an example. We got to make an example. No, the disrespect, the threats. We got to make an example.
We stand with immigrants. You belong here. Somos una ciudad de inmigrantes. Boston doesn't back down. We are a city where the Irish coffee is strong and our opinions are stronger. We may not always agree or see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, we are a family. If you come for one of us, you will get all of us.
Fuck around and find out.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Somebody else got to find out. We got to make an example out of somebody. Here we go. Here we go, Trump administration. Here we go. Let's go. They F around. They got to find out. Here we go. Boston. What's going on, family? I hope everybody is blessed, well, healthy, and that nothing but the best is going on in all you beautiful people's life. But y'all been blowing me up. We've seen a couple of y'all sent this to me. Seen in my emails, and I also seen what's breaking the news, and here we are. You know, this mayor delivers a sharp threat to Trump administration, declaring Boston does not back down. She says, we stand with illegals. You belong here. This comes as a House Republican ramp up calls for Wu's indictment over sanctuary policies. Is Mayor Wu playing with fire? And I don't know if I'm saying her name. I don't even know. Look, I don't even care. This woman to be made an example out of. Yeah, you playing with fire.
We stand with immigrants. You belong here. Somos una ciudad de inmigrantes. Boston doesn't back down.
Boston mayor defines President Trump's executive order. Looks like she needs to find out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, somebody got to be made an example out of. Yeah. Somebody got to be made an example out of. It says, Boston's Democratic Mayor Mayoral Wu is standing firmly against Donald Trump's directives on immigration and her collaboration with ICE. You belong here. This is your home. She says, making her stance clear. What action should be taken in response? Let me check this clip out.
You belong here. This is your home. Boston es tu hogar. Boston, 这la calle. 这是你的家. This is our city. We are the safest major city in the nation because we are safe for everyone. You belong here.
You belong here. It has to come to my attention that the mayor of Boston is claiming illegals belong here and began speaking foreign languages. She is aiding and abetting criminals. Deport her as well. Yeah. Treason! Treason! Put your hands behind your back. Yeah. Says, dear President Trump, please make an example out of Boston. Their mayor needs a hard and long spanking till she cries and can't sit. Woo! Love them Patriots, man. The Patriots, we keep it real. We keep it real. If you don't want to hear it, get up out of here. On here, we keep it real. Yeah. You know, where's that video at where we had pulled up, man? Let me go and throw this bad boy in full reaction mode, man. You know, this woman here, I tell you, you just can't make this up, man. You just can't make this up. This liberal mayor. We'll go to full reaction mode, man. I'll tell you. Ah.
Back here at home, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu delivered her State of the City address last night, touting city safety and taking a shot at the White House over its illegal immigration crackdown.
This is our city. No one tells Boston how to take care of our own. Not kings and not presidents who think they are kings. Boston was born facing down bullies.
Jerry Goodwin is quartermaster for the Beachmont Veterans of Foreign.
Yeah, she got to be one. Yeah, a woman like that, you got to just make an example. People like Democrats like that, you got to just walk in there and make an example out of them. Yeah. Yeah, we don't got to do no talking, no who. No, we got to just go in there and make an example. Yeah. She got to be made an example out of, family. I'm just saying. Made an example out of. Walk out in handcuffs, full-blown investigation. Because I'm sick of these people threatening President Trump and the Trump administration. I'm sick of all these threats. I really am. I'm sick of the disrespect. We don't want to talk about doing things the right way. We just want to throw threats out there and think we big and bad. But it's a new sheriff in town, I'll tell you that. You think you're big and bad, but guess what? It's a new sheriff in town.
Wars 6712 and a retired Boston police officer. And Jerry joins me now. Jerry, good morning to you. So what'd you think of the speech?
Good morning, Carly. Thank you for having me. I watched it last night, and it feels that we're living in two different realities from what she sees and what I see. She touted the school systems. The schools are a complete disaster. She talked about crime being down, which crime is down, homicides are down, shootings are down, but that's due to the brave work from the men and women of the Boston Police Department. That had nothing to do with any of her policies. Her policies have made things worse. Like right now in my home district, there's an active gang war between MS-13 and 18th Street. Just the other day, a firearm was recovered off a 18th Street kid and two large knives right outside a high school in front of a state representative's house. So again, I think we're living in two different realities.
Wow. So you say that in your hometown, in your community, there's an active gang war taking place right outside your streets. What has the mayor said about that?
Nothing. And again, it's MS-13. It comes right back to the sanctuary city policies that we have.
Yeah, but we
have liberal activist judges.
Well, Jerry, I was going to say and I'd love for you to finish your thought about the judges, but she also says that Boston is the safest major city in the country. But she certainly fails to mention what you just said about a gang war taking place.
Yeah, they cherry pick what they want to take and use that for their speeches. Again, like I said, we're living in a totally different reality. What they're saying and what the reality is are two different things. But I will say crime is down in the city of Boston. But again, that goes to, the men and women of the Boston Police Department.
Wow. Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. It could be down, but maybe even down further if the sanctuary city policies weren't in effect.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, so you had an MS-13 gang member. This is a separate incident than the one I just referenced at the high school, which involved 18th Street. But you have an MS-13 gang member who was here illegally. And a liberal activist judge, Judge Delvecchio out of my home district, refused to, adhere to the ICE detainer on him and released him. And he's got...
It's a disgrace with these liberal activist judges, man. These radical left judges, man, I tell you, man.
It was a large capacity firearm that he's carrying around in my streets.
That is
right
ridiculous.
In my neighborhood.
That's terrifying. So also, you know what, on that front, Mayor Wu just received an endorsement from the city's largest police union, the Boston Police Patrolmen's Association. Given what you just said, does that surprise you? Does the mayor really have the support and backing of the police?
Maybe the union. I don't know how much support she's got from the actual rank and file guys. I think that's a separate thing. But she did offer them a very good contract the last collective bargaining
Yeah, there is a distinction there. Also on the mayoral race front, her top challenger, the mayoral race is taking place in November. Her top challenger is Josh Kraft, the son of Patriots owner Robert Kraft. He also just scored an endorsement from the International Longshoremen's Association and the New England Dock and Marine Council. But in early polling, he is at a deficit here. Mayor Wu has a double-digit benefit to her. She has more support. So how do you think that mayoral race is going to go?
Well, I like Josh Kraft. I'm going to be supporting him in this mayoral race. It's always tough to go against an incumbent, particularly in Boston. They say it would.
Yeah, but the president thinks he's a king. He's a bully. Yeah, we got to make an example. See what them Patriots said in the comments real quick. She has no respect for our country. It's America, not your city. It's not your city. We are a nation of laws, lady. Grew up in Boston. This is not Boston. Who the hell voted for this mayor? I'm sorry. When a city's policy endangers the rest of the country, it's not your city. Boston is not its own country. Poor mayor is delusional. This is our country. Hey, lady, this is our country. Make America great again. You know what I'm saying? What a sad Boston mayor. She has no respect. No respect. There it is. You just can't make this stuff up, man. You just can't. Now, I believe my brother made a video on this, and I want to see what he had to say on it. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it, y'all. Let me see. I know he made a video on this earlier. There it is.
The Boston mayor.
This radical left mayor. Yeah, buddy, we got to make an example. Gonna send a warning to our president and like she big and bad, disrespecting. We got to make an example out of people, man. I'm telling you, Trump. We got to make an example out of people, man. Let's put our foot down. Trump been being too cool, too nice with everybody. And they still doing everything they can to stop him. He been playing it cool with everybody, being nice, Let's put our foot down. We keep winning, though. We keep getting, we just keep winning, though. I know we keep winning. Promises made, promises kept. He's doing exactly what he campaigned on. But he has been a little bit of, he been nice with everybody, though, still. And they still coming out and disrespecting him. I don't approve of this, y'all. Disrespecting us, man. There's no respect.
The Boston mayor, Michelle Wu, who is a raging progressive, doubled down last night on giving sanctuary to illegal aliens. Take a look.
We stand with immigrants. You belong here.
Already
Superload is the safest city in the country. But when we looked at the actual numbers, crime has increased over the past 4 years. They claim they're standing with immigrants, but you know who's paying for that? People who live in Massachusetts. That's why that state is going bankrupt. And again, they may call this compassion, but it's truly reckless, and it's costing people their safety, resources, and the state's ability to get their budget under control. That's the main argument here. Now, she may disagree with that argument, but the border czar Tom Homan continues to prove that President Trump is a difference maker as it pertains to keeping America safe by closing the border. Listen to this.
In 4 weeks, we arrested more criminal aliens in the interior United States than Joe Biden did in a year, first of all. Woo. Second of all, the border numbers right now are down 96%.
Woo.
96% decline in 6 weeks.
Promises made, promises
kept. We did in
kept.
6 weeks, what Joe Biden refused to do in 4 years. And what we needed, as the president articulated during the speech, all we needed was a new president who took border security seriously, and that's what we have in President Trump.
All we needed was a new president.
6% decline on border crossing. But here's the most important part, what I think is the most important part, gotaways. Under Joe Biden, we got 2.2 million people cross the border, weren't apprehended, weren't fingerprinted, weren't vetted. 2.2 million people came into this country, and we got them on video, drone traffic, sensor traffic. They weren't apprehended because Border Patrol was too busy changing diapers, making baby formula, taking care of the humanitarian crisis of people coming across that border by the millions. 2.2 million people cross the border. We don't know who they are, where they came from, why they're here. Gotaways by average were 1,800 a day under Joe Biden. 1,800 people a day crossed this border and weren't apprehended because Border Patrol was so overwhelmed. The gotaway number yesterday, 41.
Okay, so why does this even matter, right? I think it's really simple. Every illegal crossing isn't just a number. It's a potential criminal, smuggler, cartel operative, or even a terrorist sleeper cell. That's what Democrats don't want to focus on. They believe every person crossing the border potentially is here to do the right thing and follow our way of doing things. Now, we know that's not necessarily true. And that's why some are arguing that Biden's policies create the single greatest national security crisis in American history. And the consequences were what? They were deadly.
When you have the border, and here's where I keep preaching, but the left keeps pushing back. When you have a 96% decline in illegal border crossing, when 96% less people are coming, how many women and children aren't being sexually assaulted by the cartels? How many children aren't dying crossing that border? How many pounds of fentanyl is not getting into this country to kill Americans? How many people on the terrorist watch list aren't escaping this country? How many billions of dollars are the cartels not making? A secure border saves lives, and that's what President Trump has done. We were saving lives by the thousands simply because we have a secure border. We got more to do. Look, we were arrested about 3 times more than Biden did in 1 month. I already talked about that. In 1 month, we compare his month to our month, we're arresting 3 times more than Joe Biden did. That's not enough. We need to do 10 times more because he wasn't doing squat. So the media's been all over me, well, are you happy with the numbers? I'm happy. I'm not satisfied. We're not going to rest. I'm not going to sleep well at night until every public safety threat, illegal aliens eradicated from this country. That's when we'll relax, and that's when we'll take some action.
Now, let's be honest. The Boston mayor, Michelle Wu, she would disagree with Tom Homan on everything he just said. But you know what she can't disagree on? That illegal immigration under these Democrat policies, they have drained resources at an unsustainable rate. That's why Gavin Newsom is asking for more money.
New scum.
Because what did he do? He used Medi-Cal healthcare in California, the funding on illegal migrants. And it's not just that. It's also housing, education, and services that are actually meant for American citizens, but we are prioritizing illegal aliens. Sooner or later, the numbers won't add up. And let's not even mention the $36 trillion deficit we have as a country. And for Gavin Newsom, he doesn't even deny this. He literally admitted out loud that that's exactly what California is doing. And it's
they done ran all these places into the fucking ground. Into the ground. They have ran these places into the ground.
Exactly what they believe in doing, even if they don't have the money.
The Medicaid situation right now, is there anything you can share about just the undocumented healthcare expansion and how that's contributing to what's happening right now?
That's partial. We've seen in Pennsylvania, Colorado, Indiana, that don't have that expansion. They had even more sizable supplementals into their Medicaid system. This was something we previewed in the January budget, something that I previewed in separate conversations.
Is this the last of the loan requests from your administration for the year, do you think?
Yeah, and you've seen this in the past. We've done these letters, the legislature, we've done these supplementals in the past. As I said, I noted 4 states that I'm just more familiar with. Because those governors, we've had conversations. Look, for decades, California and many other states, in fact, every state provides maternal care, regardless of pre-existing conditions, ability to pay, and immigration status. Many states have advanced supports. California is among the most comprehensive. It was something we said we were going to do. It's something we committed to do with the legislature, and we've been doing it in a very transparent and inclusive process for years and years. I believe in universal health care.
All right, the biggest thing that stood out to me with everything that he said was he believes in universal health care, and that right there is the fundamental difference between conservatives and progressives, okay? Universal health care costs money. So the question is, where does the money come from? Because they're going to have to print it somehow. And what's more frightening are these numbers. California alone spent $38 billion in providing health care to illegal aliens in 2023. Over 1.7 million illegal immigrants received some form of free health care in California. And here comes the hypocrisy. They're crying that Republicans are trying to lay off federal workers who are veterans. My question is this: the 60,000 plus veterans that are homeless right now, Why are we not spending, what was the number again? $38 billion on them. See, Democrats want to spend $38 billion on illegal aliens. Make it make sense, people.
Y'all know I say this in thousands of videos. Thousands. I say the exact same stuff in thousands of videos. You know. Like I say, we come last. The people. Spit on. Homeless veterans. I mean, we just can't make this stuff up, man. People have been spit on, man.
Now, here's MSDNC crying about Republicans laying off federal workers who are veterans.
That's the thing. If you have a relationship with your constituents, you can talk to them. You can go to those meetings and you can go, I agree with you. Veterans should not have, their VA benefits slashed. I agree with you. Veterans that have served in our country's uniform for 20 years should not be fired randomly by a billionaire immigrant from South Africa who doesn't seem to understand the most basic concepts of Madisonian democracy. You can say that and win.
Listen, I'm a veteran. I get a lot of emails from veterans. Republicans are not cutting veteran benefits. Okay, let's just get that straight. And let's not forget this. Again, not only just California, but think about how much Massachusetts has spent on providing health care and all of these resources on illegal aliens had they spent the same amount of money for veterans. And number 3, this amount of outrage they've had about illegal aliens getting deported and all these services that they want to protect, like their sanctuary city status. Where is that same level of outrage for veterans over the past decade? Because we know the homeless population has continued to increase, especially in New York, where they just spent $12 billion on illegal aliens. And what's so fascinating is MSDNC proves my point. Listen to this.
Is that as the son of a veteran who relies on care from many different sources, including the VA, it is already so difficult. And there are so many great people at the VA doing their best and working hard, but there's so much bureaucracy. It's so hard to get what you need to begin with. So to think about scaling it back to the point where the man you talk to, Keith, he goes to a darkened office. That's unforgivable. We sign a contract with our members of our military when they go to war, because a lot of us don't. We will take care of them when they get back. And it's hard enough, and that deal has not been met already. No. And to see more of it being taken away.
So my question is, why is America spending more money on illegal aliens than they do on their own veterans? Based on what he said. These people went off to war. They put their life on the line. They've sacrificed. Why are they not being prioritized in the same way that illegal aliens have? That's number 1. Number 2, if we know the system's been jacked up already, why do we think hiring more people will solve the issue? Because clearly that's not going to work. It's not more people. It's the process. It's the bureaucracy that has ruined the VA. But hey, according to Michelle Wu, illegal aliens, they take priority. They are most important. We want to provide for them. We care about them more than we care about our veterans. Now, here's a statement from Congresswoman Presley, who clearly is a race hustler.
Yeah,
she says that
this race hustle with that. I'm not even gonna. They say, if you're Rick, sir, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
That Mayor Wu laid out a powerful vision for Boston, one that meets this moment with urgency and empathy. From addressing our housing crisis to strengthening our schools, she's building a vibrant, inclusive city for everyone. Grateful for her partnership. This moment requires it. And let me make sure I remind you something of who Mayor Wu really is. She's an individual that hosted a lunch where white people were not allowed to attend. That's the type of individual she is. She's a radical progressive. There's no question. Now, let's get to the question I'd love for you guys to answer.
We got Trump. We got to go make an example out of somebody. And there it is. You know, when we talk about Chicago, we talk about these governors, these mayors, we talk about over here. Yeah, and they come out time and time again. They don't have no respect. You know, no respect. You know, and then they get live on TV, get to feeling themselves and feeling bold and like they own the world, and spit in the face into the president. You have to make an example. You have to make an example, Trump. That's what I'm saying. You have to make an example, man. Especially with this radical. We got these judges, these activists. These people have lost their minds. Some mental illness going on. you know, we got to make an example, man. It don't stop, and people don't fall in line until you make an example out of it. Once you make an example out of somebody, it'll all trickle, the trickle down effect. You got to make an example. But let me know what y'all think of this, man. I love y'all. God bless you all and your families, and I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace and love, y'all.